Error code 2618-0006 on the Nintendo Switch 2 indicates a NAT Type failure. This means your Switch 2 is having trouble connecting to Nintendo's servers, particularly for online multiplayer games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Splatoon 3. It's not a hardware defect, but rather a configuration issue with your home network that prevents seamless peer-to-peer connections. Approximately 12 to 15% of Switch 2 users experience this as of February 2026. NAT, or Network Address Translation, allows multiple devices on your home network to share a single public IP address. This is essential for connecting multiple devices to the internet through one connection. The error 268-00006 occurs when your Switch 2's connection is blocked or restricted by your router or internet service provider. This prevents proper online communication. Here's a simple diagram showing how NAT works. The internet provides one public IP, which your router shares with all your devices, including your Switch 2. NAT types determine how well your console can connect. There are three main types: open, moderate, and strict. Open NAT, or Type 1, is ideal with no restrictions. Moderate NAT, Type 2, allows some connections but may cause issues. Strict NAT, Type 3, is the common cause of error 2618-0006. A strict NAT type prevents your Switch 2 from communicating properly with other players online, leading to connection failures in multiplayer games. Nintendo has included an automated NAT troubleshooter in firmware updates starting with version 18.2.1, released in January 2026. This built-in tool makes it easy to diagnose and resolve common network issues. The troubleshooter scans your network configuration and suggests specific fixes for NAT problems that cause error code 2618006. To access the troubleshooter, navigate to System Settings, then Internet, and run the connection test. This is the first and easiest step to try when encountering the error. The troubleshooter often resolves NAT issues automatically, saving you time and technical knowledge. UPnP, or Universal Plug and Play, is a protocol that allows devices on your network to automatically configure port forwarding without manual setup. To enable UPnP, start by accessing your router's settings through a web browser. Once in the router interface, look for the UPnP option in the Advanced Settings menu. Enable UPnP by toggling it to on or enabled in your router settings. After enabling UPnP, restart your Nintendo Switch 2 and retest your internet connection to check if the NAT type failure is resolved. If Universal Plug and Play doesn't resolve the NAT issue, you can manually forward ports as an alternative solution. First, access your router's settings through a web browser by typing the router's IP address, usually 192.168.1.1 or similar. Navigate to the port forwarding or virtual server section in your router's interface. You'll need to forward a range of UDP ports, specifically from 45,000 to 65535, to allow data packets to reach your Switch 2 directly. Enter these ports and set the target to your Switch 2's internal IP address on your local network. You can find your Switch 2's IP address by going to the console's internet settings and checking the connection details. This method requires more technical knowledge than UPnP, but it's often very effective for resolving NAT-type issues. DMZ, or Demilitarized Zone, is a router setting that places your Nintendo Switch 2 outside the firewall protection. This gives the console unrestricted internet access, which can fix NAT connection issues. However, this creates a significant security risk because your Switch 2 is no longer protected from potential threats on the internet. You should only enable DMZ as a last resort after trying other solutions like UPnP or port forwarding. To enable DMZ, first find your Switch 2's IP address by going to System Settings, then Internet. Note down the IP address shown there. Next, log into your router's admin panel using a web browser. The address is usually 192.168.1.1 or similar. Look for the DMZ or port forwarding section in the settings. In the DMZ settings, enter your Switch 2's IP address. Save the changes and test your internet connection on the Switch 2 to see if the NAT error is resolved. Remember, DMZ should only be used temporarily. After testing, go back to your router settings and remove the DMZ assignment to restore your network's security. Consider permanent alternatives like port forwarding for long-term solutions. If none of the previous solutions work, try these additional troubleshooting tips to resolve error code 2618-0006 on your Nintendo Switch 2. First, try connecting your Switch 2 using a wired Ethernet connection through the USB-C dock. This provides a more stable and reliable connection compared to wireless, bypassing many potential interference issues. Next, check your router's firmware for any available updates. Outdated firmware can cause compatibility issues and network problems. Visit your router manufacturer's website or app to download and install the latest version. Contact your internet service provider to verify they aren't blocking any ports that the Switch 2 needs for online play. Some ISPs have strict firewall policies that can interfere with gaming connections. As of 2026, Nintendo continues to improve network performance through firmware updates. Always keep your Switch 2 updated to benefit from the latest fixes and enhancements for online connectivity. Finally, refer to Nintendo's official support page at support.nintendo.com/switch/error/2618-006 for detailed Switch 2 specific guides and additional troubleshooting resources.